Hello everyone, today I'm going to be showing you what I've got inside of my MixPre 6 bag right here. I'm running the second generation of the MixPre 6 and I'm just going to kind of be taking everything apart out of here and showing you what all I've got inside of here. It's all kind of really self-contained, about as jam-packed as you can possibly get a bag of this size for this mixer right here. So let's just go ahead and tear everything apart. I'll show you what all I'm running and how it's all put together as we go along. First thing we're going to do is actually just turn everything off right now. So I'll just turn off the mixer, and then the wireless and the transmitter here are all powered off of this BDS. So I can just kind of turn that off right there. Everything goes off and we can start disassembling it. And so first thing I kind of want to point out is the fact that this is all powered off of this one battery pack right here, which I'm running a remote audio Meon high Q battery right here. And this is going into this BDS right here that's powering everything. So you can see I've got the connection for the mixer, both of these receivers, and the one for the transmitter over here as well. So let's just go ahead and take all this apart because we're not going to be needing that right now. And then for the power cables, I'll just go ahead and unhook all these. So we'll go ahead and take all this apart like that. We'll take that off, just set it over to the side over there, and it's hooked into this little strap right here. And I don't know if I mentioned it before, but this is a K-Tek Stingray MixPro bag. It's designed for this mixer and also for the MixPre 3 as well. Before I actually start taking apart this part of the bag, let's just go over what I've got in the pocket right here, this little pouch that's attached to the front of the bag. I had the battery in there and that was running out of there to the BDS, but what else I'm running in here is just extra SD cards, a little bit of tape for whenever I need to make mic adjustments, and also a Soundguys Solutions law bullet as well. I've also got this Lectrosonics screwdriver that's for making adjustments to the UM400, and then also for the smart slate that I'm running. And this is what I use to jam the slate. It's a 3.5mm to 3.5mm connection, but I've got a 1/4" adapter on there as well for jamming the slate. And that'll be coming out of the output at the side of the MixPre over here. I'll get to that in a bit, but that's how I do that. And also if I take the adapter off, then I can use this to jam my tentacle sync as well if I need to run timecode to the cameras. So we'll start with this transmitter over here. This is a Lectrosonics UM400a, and I'm feeding the IFBs with this coming out of the output of the MixPre. So this is going to the IFBs, and right now I have it powered by this battery eliminator right here. It just takes the voltage output of the BDS and feeds it into the UM400 directly, and that way you don't have to worry about the 9-volt battery that usually goes in here. So to open up the bag, there's this little Velcro strap right here. You just take that off and then the whole section kind of opens up like that. The cable for the battery eliminator for the UM400 will just set over to the side like that, and then you can kind of see that there's a whole bunch of cables all just jammed in there. They're a little bit long for this bag and this setup, but you know, they all fit. So I'm not really too concerned about all that stuff. And while we're talking about the UM, let's go ahead and just pull out the output cable for it as well. So the output of the MixPre, I don't know if you can see it, is this little 3.5mm connector right here. Another important thing is that you can set the output of the MixPre to output timecode, and so when I need to actually output timecode, I just unplug the UM400, plug in my timecode, switch it over, and switch everything back when I'm done. So this cable is just a 3.5mm to a TA5F going into the UM400. We'll just put that over here with this guy. And as you can see, I've got this full-size XLR as a low-profile right-angle connector. And then there's a little USB thumb drive right here. That's for the backup recording on the MixPre. So once I've stopped a take, it'll automatically copy over whatever is in the SD card onto this guy. It's important to note that the MixPre does not record directly to the USB drive. This is just to backup recordings that you have already made onto the SD card. But I use this because it's a lot easier to get to this than it is to get to the SD card, because the SD card is in the back of the mixer. It's really hard to get to. I've got one free XLR right here, and that's just so I can hook up the boom hardwire, because when I'm running this solo, I usually just hardwire the boom to the mixer. And that's where I leave one open for that. On the other side of the MixPre, I've got 2 more wireless receivers going into here from in here, and then this aux in right here. That's the 4th wireless receiver, because each of these SRCs, these are Lectrosonics SRCs, each one of these is a dual channel receiver, so it can have 2 wireless transmitters going into each one of these. That gives me 4 total. I have one going into this side, as you saw, And 2 more of the full ones right here, and then that one right there. I could have gotten another XLR and connected it into the free XLR right here, but like I said, I leave that one open for the boom. So that gives me all 4 channels of my wireless receivers. Let's just go ahead and kind of take everything apart a little bit, and then you can kind of see how it's all going in there. I'm obviously just running with antennas for each of these, not really a whole lot of room to have an antenna distribution system in here. So we'll just set these aside right there and take a look at each of these SRCs. So let me just pull it out like this. On the back of these, it's usually just an open PCB, but you can get these adapter plates. It's an SREXT adapter plate, so you can run it outside of an actual slot because these are slot receivers. It allows you to put in power and then 2 little mini XLR outputs right there. So we can just go ahead and unplug each of these. Unplug this and set this receiver aside, and then just pull the cables through. It's a bit of a rat's nest in terms of cabling in here, but ideally I'm not pulling this thing apart all the time, so it just stays the way it is. And then the last SRC, same thing, little SREXT adapter for it. We'll just go ahead and pull the power and disconnect both XLRs from that. Set this on the side right there, pull everything out the bottom, and disconnect both the XLR and this 3.5 millimeter connector right here. And then we can just pull those out, set those aside. Now we're just left with the MixPre in here. For power on the MixPre, I am again running off battery distribution. What I'm using for this is this Cable Techniques power sled right here. It takes where you'd normally have your battery sled of 4 AA's. You can instead use this and power it off of the smart battery over here using a 4-pin Hiroshi connector. It's being held in here with these 2 little Velcro straps on each side. So we'll just undo this Velcro on both sides, and then we can pull this all the way out. And then so here we have the actual MixPre itself and the sled right here. The sled is a little bit difficult to get on and off. Off was actually easy this time. Putting it on though, you can see this is where the battery sled would usually go. You connect the SD card right here as well. Normally, like I said, it'd just be 4 AA's in the back of the mixer, but this just allows me to have 1 battery powering everything. And we'll just go ahead and set this aside. SD card, and then here's the little Allen key for if you want to hook this up onto a camera or a tripod, just mount it that way. And that is the tour of the MixPre 6. Here's the bag with nothing in it. You can see a flap on both sides, that one right there. It's got these nice straps along the front here to hook receivers onto or transmitters, and then 3 more down below down here. 1 on this side, 1 on this side, and here we go. It's everything that goes into my MixPre sound bag. It's gonna be fun putting this all back together. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll put links or stuff or everything that's here in the description, except for, you know, this guy, because Lectrosonics doesn't make these anymore, so they don't have them on their website. You can't buy them new anyways. I got this on eBay. They get listed on eBay relatively frequently, so you'll probably be able to snag one of these relatively easy. This cable, you can see there's a little soldering job right there. Got that from Gotham Sound. They just made that cable for me. Everything else was fairly standard, bought new. I think that's all. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.